Today is my birthday, and guess what? I'm engaged and flying to Vietnam with my uncle. My dad's already been there for 3 weeks, and my mom will join us later in January. Here we are at the crack of dawn at the Minneapolis airport at our gate, and I had to endure some very loud Vietnamese woman talking. She may also be headed to Vietnam, just like us.
Con xin là nó đó mua bánh mì có đường cho con ăn, còn mua kẹo rồi cho bà Hiếu bà Kiến ăn.
Holy shit, she was loud. Not even related to her, and it's embarrassing as hell. I had to get away from her as passengers started looking at me, thinking that I was related to her. As I was walking, I was happy to notice that my good childhood friend Cao Li Tao still has her artwork up in the walls. As we still had quite a bit of time to kill before our flight, I decided to walk around a little more to see if I can find some massage place that could pamper me a bit. My neck has been killing me for months. Unfortunately, it's still way too early and it wasn't even open yet, so it's time to turn around and head back to the gate. Well, we finally boarded our first leg to Chicago, a little over an hour, so it wasn't too bad. We quickly found our gate at C16, but we had almost 3 hours to kill, so I had to do something. I decided to walk around to find some food, and there it was, some McDonald's. Good enough for me. Well, the part of the trip I was dreading the most is finally here, the 13-hour flight to Tokyo. We were immediately served some minor snacks, but seeing how it's so difficult for me to sleep on a plane, I was desperate to find some entertainment to make the time go by. Oh look, DC Universe. I've done some work for DC. Let's check it out. I picked my favorite of the bunch, Batman vs. Superman, because it's a very serious movie and it's not made for kids who desperately need to laugh. Ah, the first of several real meals on this flight. A simple pleasure for economy seating. Most likely nothing like first class seating, but hey, first world problems. Some mango sorbet served at the end of the meal made a nice touch, but it still wasn't enough to appease me for another 12 hours. So it's time to hit the movies again in the form of War for the Planet of the Apes.
Imagine taking a handful of dirt.
Over halfway through the flight and I was going crazy, so it's time to seek other forms of entertainment in the form of Tetris on my phone. And also trying to be productive by doing a little drawing next to my sleeping uncle. 3/4 of the way there, it's time for another snack, this time a little more substantial than the first one. And we get served one last meal in the form of breakfast. I chose omelet. And we have finally landed in Tokyo, just one more leg left. Unfortunately, this layover won't be as long as the one we had in Chicago. This one is only 2 hours, if that. While my uncle looks for a smoking room to feed his nicotine addiction, I desperately needed to find a restroom as I haven't shat in a day. I would have loved to stay longer to check out the airport, as it's probably the closest thing I'll ever get to checking out the country of Japan itself. And there it is, the men's restroom. Do you guys remember why I love Japanese restroom toilets? This is why. And while I was sitting and relaxing, I was amazed at how my $13 pair of Walmart shoes was able to last to this day. Time to get a new pair. I wandered over by to our gate 53 where a bunch of Vietnamese people started to gather to go home. But I quickly got bored, so I wanted to walk around just a little bit more. Then I ran into a little cool exhibit showing Japanese traditional armor. This is super awesome. Oh my god, geisha outfit, so hot. Back at the gate, we are ready to board a healthy mix of Westerners, Vietnamese Americans, and super fobs. We started off being served snacks just like our flight to Tokyo. But who cares about that? I'm hungry and I want a real meal now. But let's just fast forward toward the end of the flight. While my uncle was blocking my view to the window, I think I enjoyed a better view looking at the monitors straight ahead in the aisle.
It's gonna cost, there goes the marriage, there go.
And I can't believe it, after a full day of traveling we are finally here.
Cheaters cheat and the naggers nag, doing it the hard way, it's gonna cost.
After a fairly hassle-free pass through customs area, we went straight to the baggage claim, where I saw a diagram of a conveyor belt that looked just like a penis. And after only slightly getting hassled for my camera bag, I made it out, and I saw my cousins immediately. It's funny, for the locals here, going out to the airport to pick up relatives is a major spectacle. It's like going to an event. Non-customers are not allowed to go inside the airport, so they're stuck out here in the humidity. One lady actually approached me and thought I was someone else. Must have been a long time since she's seen that person. But it's definitely been a long time since I've seen a very special person, my new fiancée who I hadn't seen in 10 months.
Glory, glory, hallelujah, say glory, glory, hallelujah. I can change, so change.
And along with my cousins, my dad was also there to pick us up.
Hallelujah, say glory, glory, hallelujah.
It's time to get in the van and head to my auntie's house where I'll be crashing for a night.
So change. Hope it lives on, that a brighter day will come.
As we were driving, roads and buildings start to become familiar again.
It lives on.
And we finally made it, and the first plates of food served to me by my aunties, nothing but carbs. Maybe I'll give some to the dog to lessen my chances of diabetes. After the meal, I stepped outside and was brutally reminded of the shitty place I rented last year. Then the woman and I started up on our favorite tradition from last year again, our nightly walks through the streets. And this is where I'll be crashing overnight with my pops. Small but cozy. Still better than last year. Wait till you see what I'm renting for this trip.
Hope it lives on.